Yo, what's up guys, Rackals here. Today I'm going to be showcasing my custom kill sound effect pack for Quakecraft. Now this is just an overlay that replaces almost all of the default kill sound effects with upgraded versions that in my opinion are a lot more satisfying or just enjoyable to listen to in general. So let's get right into it. Alright, so the first kill sound that we've got here is the replacement for the horse kill sound effect. This one actually comes from the sound that a Minecraft dolphin makes, just slightly sped up. One idea that I had for this pack was that I wanted, that was a nice kill. I wanted a lot of the kill sounds to be something that could actually exist in the game. Obviously, this one doesn't count because it couldn't possibly be in the game since it's past version 1.8. And I also don't follow that rule at all, as we'll see in a minute here. The default horse kill sound effect is actually one of the most annoying in my opinion by far. And to make matters worse, it is actually one of only 3 kill sounds that you can unlock as a non, which means you hear a lot of it, which is just super duper annoying. And this one's just a lot more satisfying. I kind of think that it sounds a bit like some sort of laser gun, like something that could come out of Star Wars, you know, they're shooting beams out of it or something, but maybe that's just me. Alright, so the next kill sound effect that we're replacing is the bat death sound effect. This one is something that's not in the base game. It sounds a lot like some sort of notification sound effect. I actually had a sort of a similar sound effect play on one of my really old phones. I think it was my first phone. Whenever I got a text, it would play a sound kind of like this. But I do like this one. It's not one of my favorites in the pack, but I do enjoy it more than the default bat sound effect, which is obviously the purpose of this entire pack, is to just make the sounds better. The bat sound effect in particular, I'm very neutral on. I don't dislike it like I do the horse kill sound effect. I just don't love it, and I find that this makes for a nice little upgrade. Funny story about this sound effect is that in an older version of the pack, I actually had it as a realistic gunshot sound, but as it turns out, that gets really annoying really quickly. Hearing a realistic gunshot out of nowhere when you're not expecting it is not exactly calm and relaxing. Next up, we've got the replacement for the Enderman Death kill sound. And this one, some of you guys might recognize immediately, is actually the sound effect that plays when you get a T-spin in Tetris, or in Tetrio, the online game, however you want to pronounce it. I actually don't play it. I've played it maybe once or twice in my life, but I always really like this sound effect, and it's really just genuinely satisfying. I think it's satisfying to watch people get T-spins in Tetris when they're playing, and I also think it's satisfying to kill people using this sound effect, and oh, I just leveled up with that. The default Enderman sound is another one that's just super annoying for no reason. Like, I don't know how they decided to pick what kill sound effects they wanted in the game, but for some reason it seems like they placed such an emphasis on these super annoying, ear-piercing, scratchy noises. Next up, we've got the pig death sound effect. You probably can recognize this right away as the skeleton rattle, and like I mentioned a couple games ago, some of the inspiration when I was first making this pack is I wanted them to be kill sound effects that they could theoretically add, and this is definitely one that they can add. I mean, it literally exists in other games. I think in Murder Mystery, I know that I hear this a lot when people like jump in the void, and it works super well in Quake. Like, I can't believe this isn't in the game. I would love to see this one added. Super satisfying, and it's a good replacement for the pig sound effect, which I don't dislike. I just find that it's actually a really underwhelming sound effect. Like, it's not very satisfying. It's a bit quiet. Continuing off from the last game, I actually find that that's sort of a running theme in a lot of the kill sounds in the base game for some reason. So that they're either like really underwhelming and quiet or just super ear-piercing and annoying. But anyways, next up we've got the cow hurt replacement, which is actually sound effects from Stardew Valley. I don't remember when these play in the game off the top of my head. As you can hear, there's obviously 2 different variants. There's the sort of slappier sound, if you want to call it that, and the heavy hittier sound. That probably makes no sense, but you know what I mean because you have ears, hopefully. I don't think this pack will do you much good if you don't. So next up, we've got the replacement for the creeper death sound effect. That's another one in the base game that is just super underwhelming. You can literally barely hear it at all. And so the replacement for this one is the water splash sound effect. This particular variant is actually the one that plays in the classic version of the game. This is definitely another one that I would like to see added. And this sound effect is actually the one that I've probably used the most out of this entire pack. I just find that this one's super satisfying, especially if you get combos with it. Chaining together a bunch of kills back to back and hearing that splash over and over, there's something super satisfying about it to me. Next up, we've got a replacement for the creeper death. And again, the ghast is another super quiet, underwhelming one. You can barely hear it. Sort of like the bat death, I replaced it with something that kind of sounds like a little notification, like you just got a text or something. This definitely isn't one of my most favorite in the whole pack. I don't use it super often, but it's definitely a whole lot nicer. And the biggest upgrade is that you can actually hear it, unlike the ghast death. Next up, we've got the replacement for the dragon growl, which is a kill sound that I've probably spent less than like 5 games using with the bass sound effect. But this one, as you can hear, is sort of like an angelic chord chorus, and there's 3 different notes that it'll play. I particularly like this one late at night. I find it super relaxing. These are obviously super small queues today. I feel like the scoreboard, there's literally only 4 people in this game. But if you get multi-kills with it, sometimes it's super satisfying because it'll play 2 different sound effects at once. It sounds really nice. I really like this one, especially if I'm playing late at night. And the sound effect itself, I actually took from another resource pack. It's supposed to play when chorus fruit grows, which I think is super funny, and it works great in Quakecraft as well. Next up, the replacement for the villager Once again, a sound effect that I have basically almost never used, and so I've replaced it with one of the most iconic Minecraft sound effects of all time. Of course, this is the OG damage sound effect. I know this sound effect is actually still in the files of the 1.8 resource pack, but I don't know if they can actually use commands to play it in game or not. I'm kind of assuming not. I like this one. There's actually a lot of mods out there that will do this for you in other games. I think it's usually called the oof mod or like the kill sound mod or something like that, where it'll just automatically play this exact sound effect every time you get a kill. So it's cool to have something similar to that in Quake. Really iconic sound effect. Definitely one of the more, like, I guess, quote unquote jokey or memey sound effects in the pack, because that's also something I wanted to avoid, but a favorite of mine nonetheless. And the last kill sound effect we have today is replacing the wither. And this one is another one that I would absolutely love to see added to the base game. I think it plays whenever you throw a pearl. I could be wrong by that. I know it's something like teleportation related, and they use it all over Hypixel. Like, I know I've heard this sound effect used a million times. It just fits so perfectly with Quake. Like, it literally sounds so natural. If you didn't know any better, you would literally just think this is in the base game. Definitely hope that this is one that they add in the future. So for the last game in today's video, I'm going to be using the new thunder kill sound effect. I mentioned in my last video, they just added this in one of the seasonal event shops, and I don't like it very much. In this video, I'm obviously going to have my game sounds a lot higher than I would normally have them, but even with my game sounds turned way up, you can really barely hear it. So I wanted to ask you guys what ideas you have to replace this kill sound with. And I also wanted to mention that I left the default blaze, anvil, level up, and zombie destroy sound effects unchanged because I just like them so much. Why fix what isn't broken? And I also completely muted the golem kill sound effect because it's actually bugged in game, and I figured this was just the best solution, so it plays no sound whatsoever. But anyways, the pack will be in the top of the description. I hope you guys give it a shot. Thank you so much for Rackals. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Rackals, and peace.